My name is Chandar. I've been with eGov for about 8 months now, and I'm going to take you through an eGov perspective about how technology can be leveraged for solving complex problems like FSM and the sanitation space. Gautam, feel free to add anything while I'm presenting. Gautam is my colleague, and yeah, I don't know how. So what we'll cover is a platform approach, a generic platform approach to solving complex problems, and we'll talk a little bit about what principles are relevant from a platform perspective. From when you're solving FSM specific problems, we'll briefly touch upon architecture, and we will talk about what kind of features and phased out releases make sense from a roadmap perspective. I don't know how many of you know of eGov, but eGov is an NGO founded in 2003 by Nandan Nilekani and Shrikant Adamuni. Sorry, a plane was flying overhead. Nandan and Shrikant also sort of worked on the Aadhaar program and UPI subsequently and so on. So they founded this in 2013, and the mission has been to catalyze urban transformation and enhance ease of living. That's been the primary vision behind which the NGO has been focused on. And the mission has been to embed an open digital infrastructure to improve governance. And the current mission we're on is to get to 2,000 cities by end of this year. Where are we currently? This is a brief snapshot of which states we're engaged in. And some states are green, which means we've completed the implementation. They've been live for many years. Some of them are blue, which means that we are in the process of implementation. A few modules may be live, but we're still driving adoption. So at this point, we've covered about 1750 odd cities across the country. And the endeavor is to get 2,000 by end of the year, and over the next 3 to 4 years, cover the entire country, which is about 4,500 cities. We'll jump straight into what the approach to a platform approach to solving complex problems and building an open digital ecosystem is. So we see this as a 5-step process. The first being the fact that we need to create a shared narrative with the ecosystem players. So eGov realizes that we can't just solve problems from just pure technology. We also need policy frameworks and other sort of people to be involved. So we work very closely with industry, with the academia, with civil society and government, and create this shared narrative where everybody has their own part to play. And with that specific view, we've been working with CPR for the last almost 4 months now, specifically on the FSM problem. And CPR has done lots of work in the last 8 years from an infrastructure perspective, and we feel that now is the right time to get into focusing on some of the operational aspects of FSM. The second step in this approach is to build a platform, to use technology to build this core infrastructure and core services, and then use these building blocks, which are based on some core principles, core standards, and digital artifacts. So what Neha was taking you through, some of these Excel templates, these templates can slowly start getting web enabled, and various players in the overall supply chain can start contributing to these. And administrators and policymakers can see these metrics on a web platform rather than use Excel sheets to do that. The third is start scaling out. Right, you've got to pilot in a few lead states. The approach we propose is to take a couple of lead states, and Odisha has been showing a lot of interest, and CPR has been working in Odisha. So Odisha seems to be one of the lead states that we will focus on and prove the concept in that pilot state, if you will, and then scale it out to other states and then nationally. That's sort of the approach to, again, transform and build acceleration across the country. The fourth step is, again, eGov is just one NGO, and there are other players in the ecosystem. And to truly achieve national level scale, we need partners and other people to also start contributing. And the platform approach enables other players. It could be enterprise software players, system integrators, to build their own extensions on top of the platform, and solve custom problems in various states, and then truly make it national from there. And the last step is to institutionalize this platform. To ensure long-term sustainability, it is important that we have a sort of a public institution where this platform is sort of administered and made available at a national level. That's the last step in this whole journey. Coming to FSM specifically, what I want to take you guys through is 6 broad principles that are of extreme relevance when it comes to solving the FSM problems in the sanitation space. The first one is a federated architecture. Now, we all know that India is a very complex country with policies varying across states and cities and so on. So we do need a structure, a federated structure of defining states, ULBs under states, districts. Just under districts you have ULBs, under ULBs you have wards, and then collectors. So we have this whole structure that needs to be defined, and this allows us to have adequate control and command and control structures and data sharing across cities and states and national level. That's sort of the first sort of principle. Second is the platform needs to be able to scale at a national level. So the architecture needs to scale out to support crores of users and have trillions of transactions. And this is only going to be possible if you have standardization of ontologies and formats and workflows. If you have custom workflows across the city, it's going to be far harder to scale out. If you have to customize the workflow and the data models in every city, with 4,500 cities in the country, it's going to take us forever to implement and institutionalize. The third principle is a layered design. The architecture, the proposed architecture, which I'll go through, talks about a building block-led approach where we are looking at a layered architecture where we have some core services that will not change too much across the country, and then we have maybe some services layer which can be changed, which can be customized depending on specific need. And then on top of the stack is basically solutions that you can build based on specific needs, and that's where the bulk of the customization will be. It's important to allow for easy integration. There's some background noise. Is there a question, or if not, please go on mute. Thanks. The fourth principle is integration. So we realize that various states may have systems in place, and hence there is a need for us to integrate with those other systems so that the dashboarding is now consistent. People don't need to look at multiple systems to get a common view of what's happening in sanitation and other areas. Some simple examples I've called out here: integration with property registries, integration with building plan approvals. So if you're looking at a building plan approval application, the building plan approval application needs to consider septic tank specifications and location of septic tanks to make sure that the desludging operator is able to access it easily from the street and things like that. And obviously integration with other interfaces that the state or citizens are familiar with, so that they get a unified interface from an access perspective. The next principle is on data. We need to have privacy systems, privacy built into the application. We need to have registries of the most important data sets, and this become building blocks for all kinds of integration and accountability. The last one is an inclusive multi-channel access. So we want people to be able to access the application from a mobile phone app, web browser, and so on. We're also thinking about channels like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is becoming a very important channel. So we're thinking about, can we build a WhatsApp bot that a citizen can use now to log a request for getting his septic tank desludged? So these are multiple channels of access that citizens could consume to get the service from the ULBs. This slide talks about the architecture, and this is the multiple levels of multiple layers of the stack. So at the bottom, you have the core infrastructure, and you have things like user registry, organization, property registry, and various ontologies will get defined and stored in the bottom layer. And these would generally not change too much. These are generally, once you've defined and designed it, they don't change too much. And then the next level on top, the blue layer is the core governance services. These make it enhanced over a period of time. So for example, you have a workflow engine that you will leverage to building your workflows, notifications. You may start off with by doing SMS notifications, but tomorrow WhatsApp becomes a channel. Then potentially you'll enhance notifications to use WhatsApp as a channel of communication, and so on. And the top is basically the sanitation specific services. And this will be specific to the FSM platform. There'll be FSM specific services that we will build. So you'll have things like employee registry, a septic tank registry, what the supply chain for a request is in a given state. And we will build that specific workflow where maybe a citizen is making a request, it goes to the ULB accepts the request and assigns it to the desludging operator. And the desludging operator then makes a trip, picks up the fecal sludge from the citizen's septic tank, and then takes it to a sewage treatment plant and then disposes it off responsibly. This is like the end-to-end process. That workflow can get modeled in this layer. And then you have various other hooks from there. You can allow the citizen to track their service request to see where is it, what time are they going to come and pick up the sludge, and then typical things like payment and collection and integration with other tools like performance monitoring and so on. And on top of this, you can build a number of solutions. And this is where, if there are existing applications in the state, then the fecal sludge management plugs into that. And then you don't necessarily have to change the interface app for the citizen, and the citizen app can be the same. And you can just provide these incremental functionalities for FSM. And in future, if you want to do this for solid waste management, industrial waste management, public grievance for if your local drain is overflowing, it's blocked, you can log a request from that same citizen app and it gets routed to the right department and they can come and address it. So this is a layered stack approach. And as you can see, it's very easily extendable. So if you want to add more features, you just keep deploying new services in whichever layer as relevant, and then you can scale the infrastructure out. For those who are more technically oriented, this is basically a microservices architecture with all the communication happening through APIs, and there's a Kafka bus that orchestrates all those asynchronous messages across these various services. And that's how and there's a Kubernetes cluster that manages all these services and scales them out as you need more capacity. So how would this get deployed across the country? So we will have a national level platform that gets hosted in some place, and then we will pilot it for one state and progressively deploy it for multiple states as potentially as a SaaS model. And then this can integrate with a national FSM system or national FSM data store. If there are initiatives at the center that do happen, then we can sort of integrate with those systems and then carry out the information exchange. And then if there is information exchange required with other applications, the NIUA is talking about systems like data exchange structures like IUDX. We can exchange information with other systems with proper security using the IUDX framework. So this is just a big picture on how this will get deployed and get rolled out. So having a national platform again means that you now have the ability of carrying out specific customizations at a state level. And you could have either the state or system integrators or anybody else can go in and customize it for various states, while the core largely stays intact. The core principles will stay intact. This slide talks a little bit about the roadmap, and the approach we are taking is to phase things out. So you're able to pilot something very small and roll it out to make a difference, and then progressively add functionality and then broaden the rollout as well. The first step we believe is to provide citizens an access to a timely service, and the functionality we are focusing in the first 3 is basically providing the citizens an access through an app to allow them to log requests. So from a state perspective, the state needs to enroll desludging operators and vehicles, and we need to do some policy work around standardizing rate cards across the cities. So once the citizen logs a request, the ULB assigns the request and routes it to a DSO, and the desludging operator provides the service. And then desludging operator takes it to a fecal sludge treatment plant. And the citizen has a feedback loop so that you get to know how good the service was, what can be improved, and stuff like that. This is the absolute basic sort of service orientation that the system will provide in the first phase. The second version brings in a level of efficiency, wherein we are able to now create a marketplace of desludging operators and integrate with property data. We can have registries of septic tanks, and we can sort of now automate. We can once you know where the septic tanks are geographically, you can look at how do I assign a DSO? Is a DSO in that local neighborhood? Are they busy right now? We can look at a variety of parameters and then assign the job requests to those respective desludging operators. We can also do some standards, create some standards and ontologies based on policies. We can build those out as well. And the third version basically adds in a level of vehicle tracking, GPS tracking on the vehicles, and some further analytics on the whole supply chain, and just driving up higher data collection at a system level, and allowing the state or the ULB management, ULB leadership to make decisions based on this data. And this is where things like linking with a building plan approval, linking with a property tax collection, and things like that can sort of happen. That's pretty much what I had.
Chander, sorry, just a couple of minutes more, yeah?
I'm done, Shubhagato. I'm done. This is my last slide. So I'll be happy to take any questions if anybody has any questions.
Right. Thanks very much, Chander. Yeah, I mean, as Chander mentioned, we are working together for 4 or 5 months through a SWAT team. And the idea is to embed this at least in one state and in the national level. And, means much of this eGov has been working to create a national urban innovation stack, and it could be embedded as part of that too. So we are super excited to be working on this together. I mean, the plan would be that we will follow up with each of the TSUs and the national PMU for one-on-one meetings to understand what concerns and critical factors need to be embedded into the program, so that it's scalable and applicable across the country in that layered fashion that Chander mentioned. Yeah?